Okay, I'm back here with the final segment of our video. We're going to cover the last two types of mushrooms. Now the one type, I would like to explain to you that the authorities suggest that there can be side effects and complications with this mushroom in conjunction with alcohol. Now if you're going to eat or consume this mushroom, as I do, and I like them quite well, but I would suggest that you do not ever eat them with any alcohol consumption whatsoever. My personal opinion is they can be very dangerous. But of course, you need to do your homework and study, formulate your own opinion. The mushroom I'm talking about is the inky cap. It is a cousin to the shaggy mane mushroom, which we discussed earlier in a video. Okay, let's have a look at this mysterious little gray mushroom. It can be found in the woods on both dying and decayed trees. But it can also be found on lawns, roadsides, and grassy areas as well. I have seen this mushroom push its way up through new, hard-packed driveways of dirt and stone. But as with many mushrooms, it can be found almost anywhere. It often comes up in large clusters, sometimes several being found in the same area. Its body is elongated and conical. Now the flesh is gray to grayish brown, both on the top and on the underside when the mushroom is primed. When in its prime, before opening up, its size is usually that of a dime to a quarter in diameter. Now it is in the inky cap family, which means once it's mature or changing weather patterns, it can dissolve quite rapidly, turning into a black goo as the end result. I would like to discuss the risk in picking and eating wild mushrooms of any type. I don't care if they're from the store, buttons, morels, the mushrooms that we've covered in this video. You have to remember one thing, and that is whenever eating any kind of food, wild edible or mushrooms, trying things out, you should always be cautious and careful. You should only eat a small quantity at first to see how your system reacts. And in Wikipedia, they'll explain many of them things to you. Some people can eat perfectly safe mushrooms, for the majority of people, and yet have a bad or an allergic reaction and can get quite sick, even hospitalized. And the same thing is true with species that are known to be unsafe. Some people can eat them with no ill effect whatsoever. And these things have been documented. So that's why it's very important to test it, try a little bit at first before you consume a large amount. It's a lot easier to react to something if you've ate a large quantity and you're having a bad reaction. Your system has been bombarded, and it's a lot harder for them to counter that. If there's only a little bit, then you should be okay. Now, I've been asked a lot about a subject. I'm going to explain that about allergies. Now, at age 40, I developed an allergy to metal. Now, I'm going to show in another segment how allergies affect different people. I get asked all the time. I'm going to show in another segment of this video how I can go in and collect honey fungus in a literal sea of poison ivy. It's because I'm immune to it. I never have had it. don't catch it. Many of my family do not contract it. I have property, it's all over the property. I have a cousin that contracts it from the pollen in the air. He's so allergic to it. And I'd like to say one other thing. I get comments sent to me, and I encourage questions and comments about psilocybin and these psychedelic mushrooms. Now those mushrooms are listed in authorities as toxic. To attempt to consume them is taking great harmful risks to your body. You could be causing damage that you don't even know, like any other substance. It may not show up for a period of time. So I suggest you do your homework and stay away from anything along that line. Anything that's suggested toxic from authorities is just not worth the risk. Now another thing I would like to suggest is that you get a field guide and learn to study that field guide and learn the advice. I'd like to mention, an excellent source of material is a company called Field and Forest in Wisconsin. Now I buy a lot of their products and utilize them. I have done for years. I'm quite satisfied with their products. But they have an online website and they have a catalog. And in that catalog they offer excellent books on field guide for hunting mushrooms, growing mushrooms, cooking mushrooms, just about anything you'd want to know about wild mushrooms. So I strongly suggest that you go to their website. It's Field and Forest Products Incorporated, based in Wisconsin. And check out their line of products. Now let's talk about another for the beginner, the giant puffball. The giant puffball, when mature, is easy to distinguish. It normally grows to the size of a basketball. Its flesh is white and it resembles that of a white basketball. Now the flesh inside, when primed, is white as well. When sliced open, it has the look, feel, and texture as that of a giant marshmallow. When in its prime and opened up, the flesh should be white as well. If there are tinges of yellow, it can still be eaten, but it must be cut away. The yellow is a sign that the mushroom is maturing. It changes color from the center of the mushroom outwardly, eventually becoming brown. This is because the fruiting body of the giant puffball is one big spore casing containing billions of spores. Once it's mature, the casing splits open, releasing the spores. It generally is prepared for table by slicing into 1-inch thick slices and then cutting into manageable pieces for deep frying. To me, the flavor is similar to store-bought buttons. Many people cut into large slices and saute it in butter in a pan. As I mentioned earlier, I'd like to show this clip from a video I did earlier on where I can get right in amongst poison ivy and pick mushrooms with no effect whatsoever without contracting poison ivy. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed these videos. I hope you have learned something from them. We had a great time making these videos. I hope you utilize the videos. I hope you watched the whole series of them. And happy hunting.